Goal is just setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, guys. If people in our community are slaves in their minds, then they're going to expect the rest of us to be slaves. But if we all can liberate ourselves and liberate more people, and this can become a community-wide and a county-wide and a statewide and a nationwide thing, we can literally push back the tides of tyranny if we're all on the same page. And it doesn't require that we all believe the same thing about everything, but it will mean that we can align on a couple of principles. Like, I've said this before, and I will continue saying it, but it does bear repeating. If we can all agree, can we all agree that it's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong? I think we can all agree on that, because none of us wants to be harmed or threatened to harm, be threatened to be harmed in our daily lives. The second thing is, does anybody have a higher claim over your life and property than you? The answer is, if you're rational, intelligent, reasonable, and honest, the answer is no. Nobody has a higher claim over my life and property than me. It's my body. I can put in it whatever I want to put in it. I can trade with whoever I want to trade with, and no third party has the right to infringe on that. Nobody does. And that's self-evident. And the third thing is, can we all agree that the principle by which we should all be operating that governs those two right there is the golden rule? Do to others what you would want done to you. Conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. I think we can all, sane, rational, intelligent, sentient beings, can agree on those things. And if we can, then guess what? We have a basis, a serious basis for unity. And then if we all get sensitized to those things that we all agree on because they're principally based, they're morally based, then we can build a community based off of that right there. That is all we need. And that's all we need to push back the Federal Reserve. That's all we need to push back the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDRP, the National Defense Resources Preparedness Act, that says the military can come in and grab all the power, all the water, all the food supply, all the streets, and declare martial law. We can push all that stuff back because of those fundamental principles that we can all agree on. And that's not fiction. That's reality. If you're honest with yourself, you don't want to be asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning and have armed agents of the state breaking your door because you didn't pay your taxes. We can all agree on that. We can all agree that taxation is theft. Every single one of us knows that if you take property from somebody else without asking or getting their permission, you've stolen their property. Well, that's what taxation is. And more than that, taxation is extortion. You're doing it at the barrel of a government gun. If we can all agree on that stuff, I'm telling you, there's the light at the end of the tunnel right there. Because being sensitized to those principles, those truths, those moral pegs can say, oh, guess who violated that? That politician who wrote that law, that assault weapons ban, which literally means he has given himself permission and law enforcers the permission to steal my property because I happen to own a tool that somebody else used to shoot up a school. If we all believe those basic core principles, we can literally change the world, period. Because anybody who doesn't agree with those principles is a violator of those principles, and therefore a violator of your life and your rights, period. If anybody disagrees with that, let me know, because I think that's basic. I think it's simple. I think it's easy to express that even to like an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old child. Somebody can understand. It's like, do you want somebody hurting you, Johnny? No, I don't want anybody hurting me. Then don't hurt other people. If you don't want that done to you, don't do it to other people. Do you want somebody stealing your toy? No, I don't want anybody stealing. Then don't steal somebody else's toy. And you don't get a pass because you call yourself an agent of, well, we're from the IRS. We can do that. Well, we're police officers. We can harass and collect from you. No, you can't, because that violates our core principles, the core principles of my neighborhood, of my house, my neighborhood, my community, my county, my state. That violates the principles, and you become a violator, and therefore you're a criminal. We can all agree on that. Every one of us. I guarantee 100%, unless you're insane or you're a liar.